Hello there. You are onto the Man-to-Man Session podcast. We raise kings to embrace their masculinity and amplify their influence in the society. Welcome. The Man-to-Man Session podcast is about to begin.
Hi guys, did you miss me? I did miss you. I don't know if you missed me. Well, welcome to M2M session. It's been a long time here and I'm glad to be back on this show. There are lots of amazing programs lined up for you this year. Trust me, you don't want to miss any of the episodes that we have packed up. So, it's the season of love and we just celebrated Valentine's Day a couple of days back. So today I have with me a very good friend of mine. He's my brother and we go way back, and that's Barr Askyah Otonte, who would be sharing with us his story of how he healed from a broken heart. But before he shares his parts of the story, I would like to share with you guys a bit of my story as well, of how I healed from a broken heart. At about 2020 or 2019, 2020, right? So there was this girl, I met her like some couple of days back and we started talking. It started off like a long distance relationship kind of. We admitted that we had feelings for each other, we were talking, we were good friends, we just couldn't do without each other, right? And in fact, the plan, we had already laid out the plan was okay, let's flow with friendship, and then we kick it off. We had feelings, but we were not in a hurry to put a name on it and call it relationship, right? But we knew where we were headed to, right? So we got talking and the rest, it was a fun ride. Yeah, it was a fun ride. Gifts, Christmas, birthday, as well as Valentine's Day. So, this season brings back a lot of emotions, right? It brings back a lot of emotions. So something happened all of a sudden that I can tell you for a truth even right now. I still can't explain how it happened, right? So what happened was that she got back into town and there was sort of like a disconnect, because when she got back into town, we were talking, right? We were hanging out. But one fateful day, there was a disconnect. Now, the disconnect didn't come like she outrightly telling me it's over or I can't continue anymore. The disconnect came more or less like, can you please stay away from me? I don't want to hurt you, or I don't want to be hurt. Like, it was that simple, right? Out of the blues. And here I was like, okay, so can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? Truth is, we never eventually got to talk about it. We never got to talk about it. And as a guy, right, a lot of things were running through my mind. Okay, should I give her a break? Because some of us, we're always in this situation and we're like, okay, we are more or less like confused on what to do. Should I give her a break? Or should I continue, going after her? I mean, some of you, we've watched movies where, not just watching movies, but we have this mindset, we have this perception that girls like men who chase them. Guys, that's not always the case in many situations, right? In many situations, that's not always the case. So, I was, constantly going to her house, and to cut the long story short, right? it took me being embarrassed more than 3 occasions. Like literally speaking, it took me being embarrassed more than 3 occasions before I could have the sense to stop. And all I wanted to do in all genuinity and sincerity of heart was to find out why. What is going on? Okay, you said I should stay away. Is this a break that will come back later on, or it is a forever goodbye to something that we have not yet started, right? And that never happened. In fact, there were times where I went to her house, she would refuse to come out, I would even drive down to her place, she would even refuse to come into the car. In fact, the one that broke the camel's back, right? The one that broke the camel's back was one of those days I went to her house and she didn't know I was around, right? She didn't know I was around. So I walked into the compound and I called her. She saw my call because she had stopped taking my calls. Which other heartbreak can you have like that, whereby you're left in the dark? The other person has moved on with her life, and here you are confused. So that year, I called her. I was in the compound, right? I called her. She saw my call and she refused to take the call. Then I called, she didn't know I was around. Then I called her roommate. Of course, I heard the phone ringing. I called, because I was outside. I didn't knock the door yet. I called her roommate and I overheard her telling her roommate, do not pick the call. He might be coming to the house. Or he might even be around. Now this goes to show you how well she even knew me. So it's not like we were strangers, we were friends. And when I heard it, at that point I was confused. So of course I took the further step. I had to wait for some time, right? And then I knocked on the door. The moment I knocked on the door, I waited 10-15 minutes. The moment I knocked on the door, I feel like she knew I was around, because she already hinted at her roommate. So from outside, right now I'm standing outside and I'm overhearing her saying to her roommate, speaking about it, that's quite funny, right? I overheard her saying to her roommate, if he's the one and he asks of me, tell him I'm not around. Wow. And the young lady came out, opened the door, and did as she was instructed. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? No, really, what would you do? I left that house heartbroken. I left that house puzzled. I was confused. For me right now, right? That's if I'm to consider any heartbreak. This is not the session where I talk about my own heartbreak, right? But if I'm to consider any heartbreak, for me, that's top notch. But this is what I'm going to with this. I did not heal from that heartbreak. And this is where most of us make a mistake. I did not heal from that heartbreak because 3 to 4 months down the line, it was so hot. No, it was up to 3 months. 1 month down the line, I found another girl that I liked, and I was already running head over her. Okay, I thought I was running head over her, but now I can tell you that I wasn't running head over her, but I was actually doing a rebound. I didn't take out time to heal because I did not know how to heal. I did not know how to respond to it. Probably, if she was taking my calls, most of us, we find ourselves in situations where we want to go back to our ex because we've not healed. right? Because we've not healed from the hurt, we've not healed and we've not let go of that relationship, because you see, it's a breakup because it is broken. And most times it's because there is something that particular person used to do to us, and the way she makes us feel that we can't picture life without that person, per se, in quotes. So immediately, if we can't find the replacement, you find us stuck on going back to our ex. For me, I did not take out time to heal. I went on a rebound. And guys, rebound is dangerous, because I can tell you for a truth, I got hurt double the time. Like, really, I got hurt because I found myself doing series of things, several things, on a wild goose chase, even when the picture was clear that this next relationship that I'm about to get into, if I eventually get into it, it may not work out. Even when I saw the red flags, I still wanted to dive in. Why? Because I felt I needed to be loved. Because I had not taken that time to heal. Because I missed the whole point of truly being single and loving my space, loving myself, and not needing and wanting someone else to love me before I feel loved. So one of the reasons why my friend is here on the show today to talk with us and share with us is because I walked with him down the path where he also experienced heartbreak. And in his story and in his journey, he will help us cut everything short and tell you in details. And I would want you to pay attention to every single thing that he would be saying. Because I've worked with him closely, and I can tell you for a truth, I've been there with him. And being there with him helped me realize also the things I would have done. Because the truth is, even in the periods where he also was trying to heal, that was when I was learning what it felt and what it meant like to truly heal completely. I know he would be hearing this for the first time. But guys, my healing process wouldn't have been complete if I didn't have friends around me that we could talk to, that I could open up about, that I could share how it is truly paining me, how I truly really felt. That we could be empathic about, that could help me see an entirely different picture. I could just give me a shoulder to cry on, or a shoulder to lean on. Because we are men and we have emotions. But the truth is, we have a wrong way of responding to our emotions when things go haywire. So, gentlemen, at this point, I would like to hand over to Barr Askyah, Otonte. Welcome to M2M session, bro.
Hello, everyone. Hello, gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, sending greetings to you. My name is Otonte Askyah. I'm a lawyer and a big friend of Anna Inyang's. Anna, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story. Yeah, I'm grateful. Okay, so today I think my job is a little bit simple, and it's also, on the other hand, a little bit technical, because whenever it comes to sharing, it means you have to open up. Opening up is not something men are so comfortable doing. but I'm going to do my best and see what I can share. Okay, so I'll be talking about my breakup story, healing story, recovery story. Yes. Okay, so for a few years I was in a relationship, in quotes. I say in quotes because it was more of a situationship. I I had feelings for someone. We were friends, we were partners. We shared a lot of things together, work related, relationship related stuff. But it was always a struggle because I felt like I was putting in more into the relationship than I was getting. I always had to meet up to the person's expectations. I always had to meet up. I always had to level up. I always had to, and it wasn't healthy because there's a kind of encouragement to strive to be better than that a partner would give. That's totally different. In this case, it was just unhealthy based on comparison. There was a lot of comparison. Oh, can't you see what Mr. XYZ is doing? Why can't you be like that guy? So there was always this pressure. I think that's the right word to use. There was always this pressure to meet up, to level up. And no matter how much I put my best foot forward, it still wasn't able to meet up or catch up to that level of expectation. There was always another step to climb. There was always another ladder to stretch towards. So the relationship was very chaotic. It was, like I said, a situationship because I kept on trying to, or we kept on trying to figure out what we were doing together. Of course, I wouldn't say there were no good times. There were good times, there were fun times, but then immediately I wasn't able to meet up. There was always a struggle to forgive and accept that, okay, this person is not the person I have in my head, or he's not this other person that I see on social media or I know from somewhere. He's a different individual. So it was mostly more of dealing with those negative times. So eventually, she broke up with me, and it was pretty bad because I was so attached to this lady in the relationship. I was so attached to her, and I didn't know what to do, which is a sad place to be in. You shouldn't, in a relationship, you shouldn't be so attached to the point where you no longer can identify yourself. Of course, I'm not saying we shouldn't bond. There should be bonding. There should be trust. You guys should be partners, right? That's my take on relationships. But then you should still be able to identify who you are outside of that relationship. You should be able to identify who you are, what you stand for. If this relationship wasn't there, would you just, be useless? Would you be a person without value? So that's where I was. I found myself without value. So at that point when the breakup occurred, I was reaching out. I was doing everything I could to just try to get this person back, to see that I was worthy, that I was capable of changing, that I could do more, I could get better, which was the exact like it was the wrongest of things that for me to do. I shouldn't have been doing that. Even if the relationship was going to work, I should have just focused on being better. But it was always about proving to someone else that I could do better. It was always about that. So I was basically, reaching out, and the more I reached out, uh, the more friction, the more aggressive, she was towards me. She had blocked me on social media. She wasn't taking my calls. I know at some point she was telling me not to call her, that I should text her if it's important. I was like, where is all this coming from? But of course, there were signs. I just wasn't seeing them when they were happening, which is a lot of mistakes. Which is a lot of mistake. Guys who are love drunk, they make. That's a mistake guys in that situation make a lot of times. So I just had to chill. I had to take a step back, and I didn't do that on my own. I had a mentor, I had a friend, Anna, and Mr. Anna was there. I had friends. I had to surround myself with guys. So it's great to be in a relationship with the opposite sex, but it's also healthy to maintain friendships with guys. Now, while you're having that friendship, it's not a place for you to discuss intimate details about your relationship. Oh, to start talking about sensitive things about your partner to your male friends. No, I don't believe that's right. A lot of times, even in the workplace, I see married folks, guys talking about their wives, and for me, it's just totally wrong. And even for people out there in the world, they'll be talking about the girl that they invited for the weekend and how she was, her physical features and all of that. All of that is wrong. It shouldn't be done. You're degrading the other person. The other person wouldn't have value in the eyes of your friends. So I had to surround myself with mentors, with male friends, with work, and of course, most importantly, my relationship with God. It's whenever you have a problem that you would always want to run back to God. Without problems, you would be like, I'm okay, I'm chilling, I'm fine, there's nothing to worry about, I can handle everything. But immediately you run into a situation, immediately you run into a challenge, that's when you remember, oh, I need God. I don't know how many of us have been in those shoes, but that's how it was for me. So I had to run back to God. I had to run back to identifying who I was. And I know at that time, Mr. Anna and myself, we were running immense online meeting mentality. I think that was in 2021. Yeah. So we held that, and through all of the things I had to do, focusing on my work, focusing on my purpose, communicating as often as I could with my mentor, reading scriptures, Bible, I was able to rebuild myself. But it was a gradual process. I had at that point shut my heart, because it wasn't like a week of me trying to reach out to this person. It was more than a month. It was several months actually, because I tried to reach out to her friend. Her friend was also giving me the cold shoulder. I tried to just be there to support the person, but all of those things were in vain. So it took me a long time to heal. I remember I had to even focus on sporting activities. One day I had to head to the office just to play tennis on a Saturday. So you need to, if you've ever been I don't mean to say this, but if you ever find yourself in a breakup, then these are healthy ways for you to get back up. Don't focus on the person, focus on you. Focus on healing, focus on being better. Because if you guys even end up coming back together and you're still the same way the person left you, the person is going to leave again. So that time is not a time for you to stay dormant. Get active. You're not doing this for the person's approval now. You're doing this to rebuild yourself. And it's so easy to say this, but the truth is that, and it works, I've seen it happen. The moment you get back on your feet, the moment you're strong, the moment you're doing stuff, the moment you're taking charge of your life, you will become attractive to that person again. And now the ball will be in your court to accept or reject that person. So it took me a while to heal, but with prayers, with focusing on work, with the right relationships. Okay, I wasn't interested in dating. Yeah, please don't rush into another relationship. focus on you. Just focus on you. Leave girls alone. I'm talking to guys now, so that's why I'm saying leave girls alone. You can have female friends, that's fine, but have boundaries with them. Have boundaries. The focus for those few months, whether it's 3 to 6 months, it should be on you. And those months depends on how long you're in a relationship with that person. Okay, so it depends. So all I wanted to do in 2021, because the breakup happened in 2020, am I right? It happened in 2020, yes. Sorry, 2021. All I wanted to do in 2022 was to just focus on work, focus on fulfilling purpose, focus on God and myself. And that's when I found I found a partner who I am now engaged to. Yeah, we got engaged a month and 3 days ago. So it depends on when you're listening to this. But as of today, it's a month and 3 days ago. So we found each other in the place of work, fulfilling purpose in our places of assignments. I wasn't looking out for a relationship. She wasn't looking out for a relationship. She was also in the process of building her life. Same thing with me. Okay, so when I talk about place of purpose, I know that could focus on church, being a servant in the service group or something related to church. But I'm also talking about skills, because each of us is born, created with talents. Okay, so God has deposited several talents in us. So you putting your talents to work is you fulfilling purpose. Okay, so it doesn't have to be in a church environment alone. But if you find yourself, working in a church environment, that's fine. That's also you fulfilling your purpose, being a servant. Yeah. Okay, so we both found ourselves fulfilling purpose, and it was in that place of work, in that place of building ourselves, we found love. I wish I could go into the details of that, but maybe not today. Maybe later on I would share details about that. But one thing that I knew once I connected with my fiance, one thing I felt, one thing that my spirit could not deny was peace. The reason why I called the previous relationship a situationship is because there was a lack of peace. There was always this struggle, there was always this angst, there was always this confrontation, there was always this attack. It was like we were in a wrestling competition. It was always there. I remember there were times I would even pray, oh God, as I go out to meet my girlfriend, please let us not have a quarrel today, let us not have any issues. So it was like that. And then you can imagine if at that stage you're already having those kind of issues, imagine how it would be in marriage. So I really just had to take a step back from that relationship after it ended. It had to be, my head had to be hit, because there were several threats to my person while I was reaching out to her. Okay, so please, I hope that wasn't disconnected. Okay, so there were several threats to my person, so I had to really understand that you need to let this person go. But when I met my fiance, there was peace. There was peace of mind, and there has been peace. I'm not saying we haven't had arguments, we haven't had moments when we're like, what's going on here? But even in those arguments, you still feel peace. There was a storm in that boat. There was a storm on the seas. The boat was on the seas and there was a storm. The boat was shaking, but Jesus was asleep because he had peace. Peace doesn't mean there will not be storms, but peace simply means that even in the presence of storms, you can still have rest. You can still have rest of mind. Wow. So you can, if you're in a relationship and it feels turbulent and you're worried, you're anxious about it, there's a problem somewhere. Okay. Of course, even in the most peaceful of relationships, there will be struggles, there will be tribulations, there will be times of worry, yeah. But there will always be that whisper of peace in your heart, in your spirit man. That's what they call a conviction. Funny enough, in that relationship that didn't work out, when I asked her out, she asked me simple question: what was my conviction? I didn't even know what a conviction was. I just wanted to be in a relationship. But now I have had to, in fact, I wasn't asked in this relationship. I just told her what my conviction was. Okay, so you have to come to that place of healing. Now, if you've ever been in a relationship and maybe it has broken down, or if you're in a turbulent relationship, as I wrap up, I need to say a word of prayer over you.
Alright, so as Barrister is about to pray for you, wherever you may be, whatever you may doing, you might probably need to, place your hand on your chest right now, and then let's pray for you. Right, if you've been struggling with hurts from a particular relationship, from a broken or a messy relationship, whatever it may be, if you are currently in a relationship that is going haywire and you're in a mess and you don't even know how to come out, right, or whatever the case may be, whatever is hurting, right, whatever is hurting right now, whatever emotional baggage is. Because you see, no two relationship leaves you the same. No two relationship leaves you the same. Whatever emotional baggage it may be that is still lingering around right now, just place your hand on your chest as Barrister is about to pray for you.
I pray that the Holy Spirit will take control. I pray that the Prince of Peace will have his way in that relationship. I pray that the Lord will open up your eyes for you to see the things that the love blinders are restricting you from seeing. I pray that you become deliberate about your life, about building your life as a man. I pray that you take charge. I pray that you make the right decisions. I pray that you do not walk in the counsel of ungodly men. I pray that the Lord orders your steps. I pray that you find yourself in a beautiful, peaceful relationship. I pray that you meet the right person. I pray that you become the right person for the person you are going to meet. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Guys, thank you so much. Mr. Anna, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me. I really hope someone will be encouraged by this. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister Askyah. Thank you so much for this session. I can feel it strongly in my spirit that someone has truly been healed. I can feel it strongly in my spirit that someone has truly been healed. This is not that regular session where it just affects your mind. This is a session that has actually driven deep down into the core of their soul and has affected their hearts. Thank you so much, Barrister. For you listening right now, I know very much that this session has really been impactful. One of the things that you should be looking out to do after this podcast is you might need to get an accountability partner, right? Because you see, even after we've prayed for you, even after you listen to these things, you still need to take an action. Yes, you still need to take an action. There are some necessary tools of wisdom that you need to apply. Wisdom is that level where you begin to apply the information, the knowledge which you have gotten. You still need to take some steps, and some of the things you may need to do is you may need to get an accountability partner. Someone you trust, a fellow guy, not a girl. You not a girl. This is not the time for you to be doing bestie with a lady and then you're sharing emotions with her. No, get a fellow guy, someone you trust, someone you can talk to, someone you can share with. You need to express how you've been feeling. You need to let it out. Or for you, it might just be to get a notepad and sit down with yourself and write out every single thing. You might actually need to write out how you have felt, where you have been hurting, the person that hurt you. You might need to write out that experience, and when you're done, you can either discard of the paper or get a lighter and burn it up and just say to yourself, as I burn this paper, I am burning and I'm letting go every hurt. For you, you may also, one of the things you should also do, you shouldn't miss this. One of the things that you should also do is to ensure that you forgive that person. You need to come to the place where you totally forgive the young girl. Yes, it messed up. Yes, it went haywire. Whoever the faults came from, but you need to actually forgive her. You need to forgive her. The next thing you need to do is you need to accept the responsibility. Accept the responsibility. Not that the breakup was yours. No, that's not the responsibility. But you are accepting the responsibility of the things that you did. It's not your fault that this happened to you. Right? It's not your fault that that the breakup, that the heartbreak and the breakup happened to you. No. But if you are sincere with yourself, you would know that there are some things that you did as a result of that breakup. Maybe you got high. Maybe you got into an addiction. Maybe you got into an addiction of maybe watching pornography just to make yourself feel good, or maybe masturbating, or maybe drinking and smoking just to try to forget, and you got into that habit. Or maybe you went to the other extreme and you told yourself, okay, my heart has been broken, let me now be on a revenge vendetta and let me be breaking hearts. Whatever it may be, you may need to actually retrace your steps. Take responsibility and correct them. Take responsibility and correct them. Retrace your steps. It's not about what happened to you now, but it's about what you did as a result of what happened to you. These are things you need to do for the healing process to be complete. Please don't trivialize on any matter of your heart. Please. Thank you so much, Barr Askyah. Thank you. Wow, thank you. I can feel it strongly in my spirit. Please, thank you. Wow, that has been an amazing session, guys. A really wonderful and amazing session. A really wonderful and amazing session. So guys, we've come to the end of M2M podcast for today. Till I come your way again, I remain my humble self. AI, best regards. Cheers.